Welcome back, Truth Seekers, and thanks again for joining me in this special episode in the ICU. Thanks to you, we are enhancing lives and helping decent people cultivate self-efficacy skills that they are leveraging for quality living. Welcome back in ICU, and I'm confident my voice reaches you in excellent health of mind, body, and spirit. Yeah, in ICU, you are our power, and you propel us to confront crisis with clarity. Our prescription in ICU is not the useless words spewed out by politicians on a routine basis. Thoughts and prayers. All of these uttered without any ounce of care or concern. Because if they cared and concerned about you, they would do something about it. That's what we elected them in office for. All these are just empty rhetoric. And they rely on the fact that we forget very easily. But I want to tell you this. I want to remind you of this. I want this to be codified in your brain. You are in ICU because your inner consciousness is unraveled. And the intentionally competent you begins to admit that you allowed yourself to be conned, and now the chickens have come home to roost. Your true self, as depicted by your vote, is now being mirrored for the whole world to see, and you can't stand what stares back at you. In this ICU, we don't peddle outrage. We expose operating systems. Here, we don't rant. We reframe. And I'll keep saying this, I'll keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. I'm not here by choice. I'm not here to diagnose a man or a nation. I'm just here, still seated, reluctantly, across from Uncle Donald on this hypothetical couch, and across from systems that small minds have fostered, and the same small minds can't stomach what depictions their reflections now portray. This has never been or will never be armchair therapy. This is nervous system literacy for a nation spiraling rapidly towards self-inflicted doom and global irrelevance. Our president is now the marking stock across the globe. What does that say about us? Welcome back in ICU. And I tell you, here in the ICU, we rise above deception. We rise above distraction. We rise above deliberate confusion. Let's state the uncomfortable truth up front. America is currently and willingly out-ad, being held hostage by a fragile ego conman. So today's episode is appropriately titled, America Held Hostage, While a Fragile Ego Rules the Nation. Let's delve deeply into why a nation built on freedom is trapped in psychological servitude, willingly led by deceit, chaos, and fear. And we do that by first and foremost addressing what? The con man presidency. Why America loves a liar. Is it because we tell ourselves lies? And those are the worst ones, the lies you tell yourself. Donald Trump's rise and frighteningly sustained presence in American politics reflects a collective addiction to illusion over reality. And you look at his performance, it's theater. That's not presidential. All he does is perform. And we eat it up every day. America didn't just elect Trump. America elected comfort over confrontation, fantasy over facts, charisma over character. Let's consider this. Why do millions justify blatant lies as alternative facts? What comfort does this deception offer? How have we become so afraid of reality that we choose fantasy? America isn't fooled. America is complicit. The first step to recovery is acknowledging the truth we keep hiding from ourselves. I'll touch over a couple of truths so far for you. What are some of those truths? We accept chaos as a weapon, and Trump has mastered this. When truth is too hard to handle, Trump and his enablers deliberately create chaos. Why is that? Because confusion breeds dependence. Clarity breeds accountability. Chaos also serves as a mask for unpopular policies being pushed in the background. Are you guys tracking that they tried to rename the Kennedy Center after Melania Trump? What has this woman done to earn such an honor? Those are the things they're passing in the background. Why they throw all kinds of chaos in front of you. Currently, what do? They accuse President Obama of treason. Why simultaneously try to rename the Kennedy Center after Melania Trump? And all of this is to distract people away from facts. They're talking about what? The Epstein files now. So you guys go back, go listen and watch my episode on the Predator and the presidency, talking about Epstein and Donald Trump. So all they do constantly is distracting people with fictional, unsubstantiated lies that even they know are lies. We've got to be vigilant. Because vigilance is the antidote to chaos. Trump's greatest strength isn't intellect, it's strategic ignorance. Flooding information streams with lies, shouting louder when facts arise, threatening anyone who challenges the illusion. So let's reflect on this. Why do people prefer chaos? They recognize the truth that demands change. What scares Americans more? Facing their own complicity or sustaining chaos? Because from my purview, my informed purview, this chaos is strategic. Let's recognize it. Let's understand its purpose. And only then can we begin to start reclaiming ourselves and our nation. But before we do that, we need to examine the cult of fragile egos, Trump's loyal mouthpieces, because he is not alone. Trump surrounds himself with individuals seemingly bred in the lab. They spew lies like it's second nature, conditioned to parrot his lies with mechanical precision. Cabinet members, press secretaries, and allies are chosen for compliance, not competence. Imagine you as a press secretary talking about, or the president will never talk about things that are actual facts. The president will not discuss, release any information that's facts. What does that tell you? The president lives in a world of lies. Let's pull those cards from under him. So ask yourself this: why is blind loyalty prioritized over truth? How are people reduced to mouthpieces without personal conviction? What does it say about America's value systems that these empty vessels occupy powerful roles. Because I know this. Loyalty without integrity is an extremely dangerous thing. Because what does it do? It dismantles democracy from within. And we all heard him talk about the enemy from within, right? That's him. And there's an episode where I talked about projection. That's all he does. Projects things he's guilty of onto others. Calls people crooked. Calls people liars. Calls people con men. That is him. But I bring it back to us. What is it about our fear and fragility? America's deeper issue. What is that? Because I know at its core, America elected Trump twice out of profound fear. Fear of change, fear of losing perceived control, fear of shifting identity. And we all know Trump exploits fragility, making Americans feel powerful by demonizing the others. So let's take in some deep reflections. And in reflecting, let's pose these questions. What identity are Americans desperate to protect? Why does fragility become strength when wielded by a bully? What vulnerabilities within us does Trump reflect back so clearly? Addressing the inner fear is essential for breaking free from external manipulation. And that is key. That is key in leveraging the practice that we do here in ICU. So for this week's practice, it's breaking free from fragility. Your sole assignment this week is about reclaiming mental sovereignty. Personal accountability audit. We need to all engage in that. Identify moments you accepted lies because truth felt so overwhelming. Reflect on why confronting reality scares you so much. And what is our reframe? Reframe your relationship with truth. So I usually do this by practicing certain, exercises. And one of those exercises is completing certain sentences, right? So for example, I'd say, truth is not threatening to me because truth liberates me by, right? So clear example, truth is not threatening because it ends confusion. Truth liberates me by allowing authentic action. Repeat that to yourself. And what is vital for us to do is to stand firm in clarity. When chaos arises, take a pause. Am I seeking clarity or am I seeking comfort? Is accepting lies easier than confronting my own fears? Those are questions you need to pose to yourself. Those are questions you need to ask. The path forward demands courage over comfort. So in closing, I'll say this to you. America remains captive because it fears truth more than tyranny. Freedom, true freedom, demands clarity, courage, and confrontation. Reclaiming our nation means reclaiming our minds. And how do we do that? We do that by rejecting manipulation and choosing clarity. So thank you for joining me this week. Next week, we'll be discussing breaking the spell the psychology of political cults in America. And like I always tell you, until then, carry what serves you, release what doesn't. Keep walking forward always with your ancestors at your back and your inner compass ahead as your guiding staff. Until then, may you diagnose wisely, may you resist kindly, and may you reimagine boldly. And we always end by asking you to subscribe, share, engage, like, promote us, because it's only through your efforts that we can reach the millions who really need to hear this message, that we can continue to produce content for greater enlightenment. As always, breathe. And remember, never forget to every single day send love to your nervous system. Until next time, I've been Dr. Epie. ICU.